How a plane crashed in the dangerous jungles of Amazon. All the people on the plane, except for 4 children, died. After wandering in that terrifying jungle for 40 days, how did those children manage to make it out alive? Understanding the divine grace of God and destiny is beyond human control. Stay with us to learn the entire story of the miracles of God. On May 1, 2023, at around 7 o'clock in the morning, at Colombia's Miraculous airport, Airlines Charter's Cessna 206 plane was preparing to go to San Jose del Guaviare Airport. Airlines Charters, which was primarily a travel company, started its airline business in 2011. This company provided air ambulance and chartered flight services for various cities in Colombia. On that day, along with pilot Hernando Morales, there were 6 other passengers on the plane. Among these passengers was a mother named Magdalena Mucutui Valencia, who boarded this chartered plane with her 4 young children. All these people belong to the Witoto Indigenous community in South Colombia, which gave them extensive knowledge about living in the jungle, understanding wild animals, and knowing about various plants and trees found there. In the video, as we will see later, it will become apparent how this knowledge saved these innocent children from the clutches of death in the terrifying jungles of the Amazon. Around 7:20 in the morning, the chartered plane took off from Miraculous Airport. Just 15 minutes after takeoff, while the plane was flying over the dense jungles of the Amazon, suddenly there was a malfunction in the plane's engine. In the beginning, the pilot attempted to restart the engine, but soon realized that saving the plane was difficult now. Cessna was already a single-engine propeller plane, which means it had only one engine located at the front. If that engine were to fail, then saving the plane would become impossible. While flying at an altitude of 13,000 feet, the pilot, struggling to control the plane, became convinced that the plane was going to crash. Immediately, he made an emergency call to the nearby ATC tower. However, the plane, trembling rapidly, crashed amidst the dense jungles of the Amazon. However, even though the plane crashed upside down, it managed to avoid colliding directly with the ground due to the presence of dense trees, which prevented a fire from breaking out. The plane was so badly damaged that the pilot and another passenger died instantly. In such a horrific air accident, perhaps there was no hope of anyone surviving. However, they say that what might seem impossible is often referred to as God's miracle. Amidst the hanging wreckage of the plane between the trees, suddenly, the sound of a little child crying is heard. And one by one, all 4 children come out of the plane. The frightened children, stuck in the wreckage of the plane, try to shake their unconscious mother to bring her back to consciousness. Despite their repeated efforts, their mother remains unresponsive. Among the children, the eldest sister, Leslie, who was around 13 years old, starts to feel that their mother might have passed away. While taking care of her injured younger siblings, Leslie was convinced that a rescue team would come soon to help them. However, as the wait stretched from morning to night, no one came to their rescue. Amidst pain and distress, the children held each other's hands and somehow spent the night in that dreadful jungle. However, the entire night, no one could sleep due to the constant irritation caused by insects, spiders, and mosquitoes. By now, approximately 24 hours had passed since the plane crash. Suddenly, their injured mother regains consciousness in the wreckage of the plane. However, she was so severely injured that she couldn't even move. Despite her critical condition, she encourages her children to stay strong and take action. In that fearful atmosphere, the crying children were now feeling hungry as well. The children found some food and drink items on the plane, including a bottle of milk and a bag of yucca flour. Eating those, the children filled their stomachs. The elder sister, Leslie, mixed yucca flour and milk and fed it to her youngest brother, who was only 11 months old. In these jungles of the Amazon, it rains throughout the year, and the children waited, drenched in rain, hoping for help all day long. The second day came and went, and once again, they had to spend another fearful night in that jungle without any assistance. In critical condition, the injured mother kept encouraging her children to stay strong. 4 days passed like this, and with each passing day, their mother's condition deteriorated further. Finally, the weakened mother succumbed to her injuries. In the last 4 days, the decomposed bodies of the pilot and the other passenger had caused a strong stench to spread in the area around the plane crash site. Now that the children had lost their mother too, the elder sister, Leslie, decided to leave the place where they were and move ahead with the other children in search of help. In these jungles of the Amazon, dangerous wild animals and insects abound from all around the world. However, as we mentioned at the beginning of the video, these children belong to the Witoto Indigenous community in Colombia, which gave them extensive knowledge about living in the jungle and understanding various wild animals and plants. Thanks to this knowledge, the elder sister, Leslie, was taking great care to protect all the children from the wild animals and insects in the jungle. The children were sustaining themselves by eating Amazonian fruits, juan soko, and palm tree seeds to fill their stomachs somehow. Since the incident, the rescue team had been continuously trying to locate the wreckage of the plane. However, the relentless rain, fog, and dense jungle made it impossible for the rescue team's helicopters to find the plane. In the same way, 2 weeks passed, and finally, on May 15, 2023, which was 15 days after the crash, the rescue team found the wreckage of the plane in the dense jungle. After reaching the crash site, when the rescue team did not find the children with the other dead bodies and saw the food and drink items scattered around, they became convinced that all the children were alive. Upon learning that all the children were alive, along with the Colombian military, other NGOs, and local people in the vicinity also joined in the search for the children. The Colombian military utilized search helicopters, infrared sensors, and satellite images, along with various modern technologies, to locate the children. Witnessing this miracle of God, even after such a terrifying incident, the rescue team members were determined that they would find the children alive and take a sigh of relief.
If you liked our video, please encourage us by clicking on like and subscribe button. We are really grateful to you for your kind cooperation. Thanks a lot.
On May 25, 2023, which was 25 days after the crash, the rescue team found a makeshift shelter made of wood and leaves in the jungle, along with a hairband. This discovery gave them the assurance that the children were still alive and were surviving in the dense jungle. The rescue team now had strong belief that they were very close to the children, so they intensified their search. Being so close to the children, they did not want to lose them under any circumstances. The rescue team also understood that after spending so many days without food and water in the hungry and thirsty jungle, the children would be very weak, and in such a condition, wild animals posed the biggest threat to them. Therefore, before any untoward incident could endanger the children's lives, the search team was determined to find them as quickly as possible. However, those unknown children were still moving deeper into the jungle. Now, the rescue team wanted to somehow convey a message to the children not to go further into the jungle and stay where they were. For this, they started throwing flyers with written messages from the helicopter into the jungle continuously. Along with this, they also started broadcasting the message from the grandmother of those children through loudspeakers in the jungle, urging them to stay where they were and not go further into the jungle. Finally, after the hard work of 150 military personnel and more than 200 volunteers day and night, those children were found safe and sound after 40 days. Upon hearing this news, a wave of happiness spread not only among the families of the children, but also throughout the world. Surviving such a terrifying plane crash and then being found alive in such a dangerous jungle after wandering hungry and thirsty for 40 days. Discovering these innocent children alive is truly a miraculous event that surpasses human understanding. Colombian President Gustavo Petro Urrego also praised the bravery and strong willpower of those children, considering it a divine miracle. He called them a symbol of peace for the entire world. So far, there is no official report on why the plane crash occurred. However, as we mentioned in the beginning of the video, this Cessna plane was a small single-engine aircraft. If there was any technical issue with the sole engine, there would be no backup or support left to save the plane. Normally, you and I travel in planes that have 2 or 4 engines. If, for any reason, one engine fails in the air, the plane can still be safely flown and landed using the remaining engines. Now the question arises, why did it take 2 weeks to find the wreckage of this plane? The main reason was that the plane did not have a satellite GPS monitoring system, making it very difficult to determine the exact crash location. Additionally, the Amazon jungle is so dense that in many areas, even sunlight doesn't penetrate through the thick canopy. Searching for a small plane that crashed amidst such dense jungle and dense vegetation was not easy, even for helicopters. How did those young children manage to survive in such a dangerous jungle for 40 days? The main reason was that these children belonged to the local indigenous tribe, Yeti in the Amazon, which gave them good knowledge about the jungle's trees and wild fruits. They sustained themselves by consuming these fruits for their meals during those 40 days. In the Amazon jungle, there is approximately 16 hours of rainfall every day, so there was no shortage of drinking water. These children had been connected to nature since childhood, and because of that knowledge, they were able to cope with such challenging circumstances. Perhaps we should all learn a significant lesson from this incident and teach children from a young age to be physically active and learn basic life-saving skills such as swimming and knowledge about trees and plants. However, due to the influence of the internet and mobile devices, our children are becoming increasingly distant from these essential skills. What do you all think about this, and how can we teach our children these life-saving skills? Please share your suggestions in the comments.